astrology.com, and she's a specialist in the solar return. The solar return is a significant indicator for astrological reasons because it brings you back to the sun is at the exact degree where it was when you were born, when it returns. So the sun transits, what we call transiting, meaning that it moves throughout the universe around the whole astrological cycle, the old zodiacal wheel, until it returns to the degree at which you were born. When it returns to that degree, every year it does right around your birthday, a day before, a day after. Within that time frame, it returns to the exact degree. And what's important is that it doesn't always land in the same house as it did when you were born. And it also indicates where the other planets in your chart are and where they are and what houses they are in. Because where they are landing, that's going to indicate sort of the type of year that you have coming forward.
Right. Now, Chris, I have your solar return in front of me, so if you're ready to discuss it a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. We'll go in a little detail to get an idea for...
Have you looked at your own solar return for the past year?
I haven't looked at it recently, no.
You haven't? Okay. Well, you do have the sun in the 12th house for the year.
The sun in the 12th house.
The sun is in the 12th house, so it does indicate that it's more of a behind-the-scenes year for you. However, you know very well that you have to synthesize the whole of the chart.
Absolutely.
But what contradicts that behind-the-scenes, I see you're doing some behind-the-scenes work. You're probably doing some behind-the-scenes writing because or communications because Mercury is also in your 12th house and Venus. So I wouldn't be surprised if you were working in solitude, doing some more writing projects or something having to do with art or communication. But what strikes me as really interesting is that your solar return ascendant for the year is 27 degrees Aries, very closely conjunct to your natal Jupiter, okay? So
that conjuncts my natal Jupiter at, it opposes, right? My natal Jupiter is at 23 degrees, right? You're right, okay, gotcha.
So your natal Jupiter is 23 degrees Aries, so your solar return ascendant is basically conjunct your natal Jupiter, and that shows that this is going to be a year of tremendous expansion and personal growth for you.
Oh, that's great.
Now
what house does that fall in, Maria?
What house does what fall in?
They're both, the Jupiter is conjunct the ascendant at 27 degrees Aries.
Yeah, so your natal Jupiter is conjunct solar return ascendant for the year.
Okay.
But the theme continues because your your solar return midheaven is about 14 degrees Capricorn, and you have solar return Jupiter conjunct midheaven in your solar return chart. So this shows a phenomenal career year for you as well. There's a lot of growth and expansion in the personal development sense as well as the career sense. A lot of changes for you in friendships and groups that you belong to. A lot more involvement and some fluctuations because your moon is...
Now, that all bodes very well because it seems that it's exactly where I'm headed in my life right now, so it makes perfect sense. This is why these things are very valid for anyone listening. If anybody wants to call in, you can at 1-877-230-3062. We're talking about solar returns today, and we can Maria can easily do a quick chart on you if we have the proper information. We need the birth date, the birth time, and the birth year, and the birthplace, rather. And if we have those three things, birth date, birth time, and birthplace, we can work up a nice solar return chart for you and get an indication of what's coming up in the coming year. And the reason it's significant is because what it does is it reflects where the sun is going to be and the planets and how they align with each other for the coming year. So it's very accurate, very valid, and it's a good way for predicting sort of what the year has in store for you.
Absolutely.
In addition to the solar return, Maria, what else do you see with regard to, for other people, as significant placements? What other planets are significant? I mean, Jupiter is always significant because it brings a sense of expansion to whatever it touches. But also you've got Mars in there, which is a key planet with regard to motivation. Where does my solar return Mars appear?
Your solar return Mars is extremely important this year because it rules your solar return ascendant. Your solar return ascendant is Aries, so ruled by Mars. And your solar return ruler, Mars, is in the third house. And here's something interesting for you, Chris. It is at about 11 degrees Cancer, which is conjunct your natal Uranus. Now, this is a lot of shakeups happening for you in communications. Lots of fluctuations, but it's very close to that nadir. So it looks like there could be some unpredictable domestic things happening, maybe some argumentativeness. It's not really very peaceful always when you have Uranus and Mars tightly conjunct. And
right, because Uranus is can often be a very sudden. Uranus tends, even though it's a slow-moving planet and considered to be what's considered to be a mundane planet, it is the planet that brings about sudden change. And sudden change can manifest itself in positive ways, and it can also manifest itself in negative ways. People often associate Mars as being aggressive and angry and sort of that. I associate Mars with a great sense of determination, willpower, motivation, action, and I think that sudden action, a sudden shift in action could be manifest as a result of that as well. So it could be either way.
It could be. It depends on how you're using the energy on a conscious level.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a very valid point. And I often like to, when I talk with my clients, I very often like to say that, the energy of Mars, or any energy for that matter, when it's coming towards you and you see it as, which could be potentially, negative or have, great potential for change there, it's how you harness that and turn it back on. It's the same thing with a Saturn return. Saturn returns happens every about 28 to 29 years. People often fear that when they do it, when they talk about astrology, but it's the same method. As you use that energy in a positive format, you're able to turn that into something very nice. And it's the stress factor that gets you to motivate. That stress factor is very critical. It's like if we didn't have April 15th, we wouldn't get our taxes done. If the train didn't leave at 6 o'clock.
It grounds you, exactly.
Yeah.
But going back to Mars, what I love about Mars is it's where you're brave. And I love the courage of Mars.
I do too. Yeah.
I mean, you're an Aries, so I know you appreciate that on a personal level. I have Aries planets in my chart, Aries rising. So I love that, daring to go where no one else will. That boldness.
That's right. Which can oftentimes be very good, but a little times scary sometimes. But that's okay. Listen, we've got another caller. I want to get the caller on before we go for our commercial break. Yvonne is on. Why don't you go ahead, Yvonne? What's your question?
Hi, I just would like a solar return.
Okay.
Reading.
Okay, Ivana, we'll start with your birth information first.
Okay, July 1st.
Okay. Year?
1948.
1948, and I need to know the time you were born.
9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, and the location of your birth?
Wahiawa, Hawaii.
Can you please spell that?
It's on the island of Oahu, Wahiawa.
Oahu, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So if you could hang on the phone, Yvonne, it'd be awesome.
Sure.
We can take our commercial break right now while Maria works up that chart. If you could just hang on, we'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with your results. How's that?
Sounds wonderful.
As the world shrinks and our barriers come down, diverse cultures are striving for harmony, balance, and peace. To ease the transition, we need to expand with color, light, and tolerance. Now, you can become a global citizen and embrace the color and clear spirit with the divine artwork of the mandala. Mandalas are a timeless artistic offering for creating unity, harmony, and peace. My name is Chris Flisher, and I've spent years creating mandalas, and they are now available online at www.chrisflisher.com. Come and experience the world of color, form, and function with t-shirts, coffee mugs, note cards, and limited edition prints. These vibrant, lively paintings and products express optimism, oneness, and spiritual balance for all who use them. At www.chrisflisher.com. www.chrisflisher.com and enter a world of possibility and color. What is your destiny? Where are you going? What is your real purpose? Do you know? Do you want to know? Of course you do. It's your duty to yourself. We are all here for a reason, and we all have great potential. Discover all of this and more with a professional astrology reading. My name is Chris Flisher, and I can help you. Discover your strengths and work on your weaknesses, and live your life to its fullest capacity. Based on your birthday, birthplace, and birth time, an authentic astrology reading will allow you to live your life to the fullest and reveal your true purpose. Only real astrology can give you real information. It is your destiny, and it is your path. Write me at chris@chrisflisher.com and book a reading today. Or call me, 978-264-0668. That's 978-264-0668. www.chrisflisher.com.
Be part of the show, call now at contacttalkradio.com at 1-877